Hello everyone, Saturday, May 4th, 2019. Of course, today is not only Free Comic Book Day, but it is Star Wars Day, so I hope everybody is having a really fun and happy day. I've been getting a lot of requests for a grading video because like we stated in the past, or like I've stated in the past, I am a very difficult grader. That I'm a very accurate grader and considered a very top-notch grader with my books because I am honest. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some of the basic things everybody should have in their grading kit. First thing you have to remember is that learning how to grade doesn't happen overnight. It takes a long time, and it takes, in my opinion, a few years to really get a good understanding of what an accurate grade is, because you're always going to learn things as a grader over time. So the book we're going to look at today, and the reason I'm wearing my white cotton gloves is because this is a Golden Age book, and if you're doing Golden Age or early Silver Age, you should have white cotton gloves in your collector's kit and in your grading kit. And you can buy these at Walmart, 3 for 99 cents or something like that. So the book we're going to do is Sparkler Comics number 16 from November 1942. This is at the height of World War II, so the cover might be a little offensive, but you got to remember the time they were at war with the Japanese, and that's why it is like that. So this book has already come out of my collection, and this book is graded at a 2.0. And the reason it's a 2.0 is that we're going to show you some of the major defects on this book. And here we go. First thing is there is a stain over the November right there. This is a pretty significant stain on the front cover. It takes away from some of the eye appeal, but also you have rusted staples right there and there. And this is also detached at the top staple, cover only. And then on the edge here, if you see this little shadow right here, this is a shadow that comes up. Maybe something was on top of this and it got a dust shadow. You look at that, there's a chip right there on that corner. And then you have smaller chips, as you can see on the book right there on that. So, but overall, it is not a bad looking book if you look at the spine. Again, I am sorry for the camera angles. The spine on this book is really, really nice. It's not split, it's not missing pages or anything like that. If you flip it over to the back, you can see the back is a really nice looking back cover. Again, this book is 77 years old, 76 years old, so there's going to be some, a little bit of dirt and stuff on this book, because I will not clean pre-code books. I keep all my books as raw as possible. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at page quality. Now, when you look at page quality, the first thing you should have in your grading kit is an OWL card. This is an Overstreet OWL card. You get a closer look at it right there. This will give you an accurate grade on the page quality. And again, when you're looking at page quality, you're looking at the overall condition of the page, or at least I do, not just a small corner that might be, brown and say, oh, it's a brown page. It is not a brown page. So what I do is, is the cover. We saw the defects on the cover and the back cover. Be real careful when you're turning this page, because again, this book is 70-something years old. And this is the first page, page number 1, the Sparkman. Takes a second sometimes with this. What you're going to do is you can hold that OWL card like that, and you can get a good gauge of where the level of white is. And pretty much it falls in that category right there. So this page quality would basically be an off-white to early tanning on page 1. What I do then, of course, I've already checked the book. I'm checking, you should go through every page of the book to make sure that there is no missing pages, missing coupons. Sometimes a kid will take a coupon out of there, because he wanted to get sea monkeys or whatever it was that they were buying in 1942. I'm going to go to page 25. I'm going to do the same thing with my OWL card. I'm going to hold it there. I'm going to do that, and this falls higher into that area right there. So again, that's more of a white to off-white. I would say it's an off-white. But again, as you look, for the age of this book, it is not real bad. So that was page 25. We'll go a few pages more. Page 31. A new story on this, Buffalo Bill, Finger of Death. Again, looking at the page quality, kind of falls in this range again. Kind of just mixes in there. Again, you're going to look at the off-white on that. This book right here is attached at the centerfold, but it's only attached to the centerfold because from the centerfold back, the staples did not go all the way through, and that is not a defect. You can see some of the coupons and stuff that they have in there. Everything is in there. Here is a Nancy. This is a different page. This is page 39. Again, looking at the Al card, kind of falls into this area right here. So again, that's an off-white to tan. So for the age of this book, this page quality is really, really nice. Now, we had already said that this book here, it is complete. There's nothing missing on it. You can even see on the back here, this advertisement, and it's really, really clean. If you look at this page quality here, you can kind of see how nice it falls right there. You can see how nice this page quality is for this book. So, like I said, I graded this book a 2.0 because, in my opinion, that stain on the front cover, which we talked about, right there, the rusted staples, there and there, and the fact that it is detached from the top staple, to me, those are all major defects, regardless of what the age of the book is. So I gave this a 2.0. Now, there are people out there who will say, oh, you should have given it a higher grade. Well, again, the most important thing about being a grader that people trust and a grader that people will come to your location and buy your books is because they understand that you are a fair grader. You're not overgrading books. There's nothing worse than a person who overgrades their books for profit. You grade accurately and your profit will be just fine because people will give you more business for accurate grading. So the first two things we talked about that you need in your collector, in your grading kit: white cotton gloves, Al card. The next most important thing, in my opinion, is the Overstreet Guide to Comic Book Collecting. Now, the reason I like this is because it gives you a breakdown of every grade all the way down to a 0.3. That is the last thing there. That's considered an incomplete book. So if we look at the 2.0 that I gave it, it gives you a breakdown. If you look at some of these books, I mean, look at this book here. That's a 2.0. That's a picture of a 2.0 book right there. I'm sorry, but my book is a hell of a lot better looking than that. So again, I wanted to be accurate with the grading. You can have some soiling or staining. There is, moderate soiling is allowed. There is no spine roll on this. That's allowed. Stress lines, there's not a whole lot of them. There are little things. The centerfold is not detached, and it is tight. But the cover says it can have significant wear, and it could be detached completely. Mine's only detached at one staple. So bindery defects, things that may have happened, no staple in the book or anything. That doesn't affect the grade. A lot of people don't realize that if you get a book that didn't have a staple on the upper staple or the lower staple, and there's no holes in that book, it means the staple was missed at the bindery, and that doesn't affect the grade in any way. Corners are allowed to be rolled. There could be some tears, which we talked about. There was a couple of little tears on there. There are no amateur repairs. There are no missing pieces. There's just, like I said, that staining, and the readability is preserved. So that's real good right there. Now, a lot of people don't realize this, but back in the day, I found this price guide from 1980. There were 3 levels of condition, which was good, fine, and mint. And the pricing was very simple and straightforward. If you had a good book that was $2, then the fine would be $4 and the mint would be $6. It would just double as you went up the 3-level chain. And that was a simpler way of doing grading, and it was an acceptable way of doing grading. The biggest thing that's hurt people, and in my opinion has hurt this industry, is people trying to scrape out that, getting upset when a book comes back a 9.6 because they get it pressed and cleaned, and it should have come back a 9.8. But again, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about what you need in a grading thing. So what I like to use on things as well is I'll use a jeweler's loop. It's very simple. I can take a look at things closer. You might not be able to see things. Use a jeweler's loop. I do this for high value books, pre-code, things of that nature. For more modern books, Silver Age books, if you're not sure about something, you can just use a regular magnifying glass. That should be on your in your kit as well. And again, you have to take the time to be a good grader. Don't be afraid to ask other graders who've been doing this a long time what they feel is an important aspect of grading. There are certain things you cannot get away from. It doesn't matter what anybody says. And some of I call it like the big 3. The big 3 is If it has a subscription crease down the middle of it and you can see it really bad, that's a 4.0. I don't care what anybody says. If you have a coupon or a Marvel stamp cut out of it, whether it affects the story or not, that is a major defect because it is now an incomplete book. It's an incomplete book. And the last one, of course, if the covers are detached or you have rusted staples, which I think is really, really bad as it relates to that. I mean, what the big argument is that people try to tell you that if the story is not affected by the missing coupon or the advertisement, it doesn't affect the grade. It does affect the grade because it is now an incomplete book. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. And a true seller who is honest will put that down when they grade a book. If it comes back, they'll tell you, hey, look, Marvel stamp is missing, or Kid cut out a Sea Monkey advertisement, and it's missing from the book. So we have that. One of the biggest scams, and I will touch base on this, the thing that's hurt the industry is people trying to squeeze $1 out of every book. The biggest scam in the market today is a qualified graded book. CGC does these qualified graded books. Bottom line is there's no such thing as a qualified grade, okay? If you have a defect, it's a defect, and that's the end of story. Okay, don't sit there and say, well, there's 2 coupons missing, but it's a qualified 9.8. No, there's 2 coupons missing, so it's an incomplete book, and it should be graded as such. The problem is that people they buy into this stuff thinking that, oh, well, even though the coupon's missing, CGC says it's a 9.8. That's terrible for the industry. I don't care what anybody says. A true comic book grader or what they call a throwback, I'm considered a throwback, will never accept a qualified grade under any circumstance because that's not a real grade. Okay, that's a money grab. So we're not gonna talk about that anymore. That's pretty much what I have on this video. It was a real quick video. I will try to do a more detailed video. Again, I want to give a couple of shout outs. Today is Free Comic Book Day, and the 2 best places to go for Free Comic Book Day in Las Vegas, of course, is going to be Cosmic Comics down there. Brian, Roland, and the gang at Cosmic Comics always do a really great job putting on a fantastic event. So go stop by, see Cosmic Comics. And then Fandomverse, which is a new shop that's opened up in our area. Neil, Deb, and Carlos down there at Fandomverse are always doing what they can to make it a good experience for collectors. And I know they're having a good event today. So, if you have an opportunity, stop by and see those 2, Cosmic Comics and Fandomverse. And, you can tell them Dan at Arkham sent you. So that's pretty much what I have right now. But I did find something funny I'll touch base on real quick. In this price guide 1980, a Hulk 181, and it even states first appearance of Wolverine, sells for a whopping $3.75 in mint condition. Wouldn't you love to be able to go back and buy a $3.75 mint Wolverine? So there's that. So I hope you liked the video. But as always, if you didn't, nothing I can do for you. Have a great day and enjoy your free comic books.